welcome to Wake and Jake, the final episode ever. No, before the regular season, because baseball starts on March 27th. We are recording this March 26th. I am joined by Jolly Olive. Snaps for him.
Really?
Sure, I can.
Wow.
I can turn the screws up. I think people have had some comments about a good Yankees-Mets big sister, little brother type deal between the two of us. Well, thank you, for our positional tier list. People really like those, and I like doing those.
Yeah, they're
and
fun.
it is funny to scope out. It's like, hey, the Yankees got Paul Goldschmidt. I like that. And then it's like, wait, is he like the 20th first baseman? Anyways, I know you guys have liked them too. The channel's doing well. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you. Wanted to finish. We left out the DHs. Sorry, guys. Shohei wins. Stan's missing both elbows. We thought about doing a certain pitching thing, but baseball's here. I want to get excited about the season, and we will do it in tier list fashion because you freaks eat it up. And we did this a couple years ago. What do we think the title would be, BBD? At MLB?
And I can tell you the title we did 2 years ago was my 2023 MLB tier list.
So we might tweak it to like 2025. And we're going to do every team and get them tiered up finally. The tiers we used in 2023 and missed 24. Win World Series or bust. Probably a couple teams that jump to mind. Make World Series or fail. I think my Yanks were in that last year. So we did it. Made World Series and failed. Win playoff series or fail. That's me and Jolly's favorite category, we decided. It's like, hey, you got to do good, but you kind of got to do good. Mid, always usually where we finish. Wild card would be awesome. I'm interested in if that needs a rebrand, but we'll see. Nobody really knows a fun category. And then fail or fail, which, Jolly, you did throw out, like, should the bottom one be try not to be the worst baseball team ever? In a way, I just don't want to give those bottom teams too much of our time.
That's fair.
That fail or fail still fills my cup.
Sorry to their fans.
Speaking of fill your cup, Jolly Olive, how are you?
I'm good, Jake. This was a fun tier list season for us. I just checked. I was poking around on Wake and Jake's YouTube. By the way, close to 30K, so make sure you subscribe.
Ooh.
Our shortstop tier list, it's already the 8th most viewed Wake and Jake video, which is pretty cool. Came out a month ago.
People were
So
ready.
thanks for supporting. This is fun. I don't know why we didn't do this last year.
Mm.
We skipped a year because when I looked back, or when BBD was showing us the list from 2 years ago, the Mets were in Make World Series or fail, and I was like, that doesn't make sense for 24. Made a lot of sense for 2023, coming off the year there. But it's fun. Now we get like a full reset. This list is going to look so much different. I think there's like 10 easy placements, 10 placements, and then 10 that are going to be pretty tough to hammer down. And I'm excited to put one team in mid because I don't know what that team is yet.
Right.
I
It's
have a
hard.
theory.
It's hard to know that off the top of your head. The 15th ranked baseball team, and maybe it doesn't even work out that way. Maybe it does. I will say this: it's officially the fan base has taken laps as they should. The team is set up like they've been set up all year. The conversations throughout the season are going to hit the point of boring, I think, because they're that good. That I think the most common thing is going to be talked about is Shohei's rehab assignment is getting like top headlines. How's he going to do it? I don't know. He'll figure it out. Throw the ball. Batting practice.
You're hired.
Hey, Freddie, stand in against Shohei. That's might be better than spring training. Anyways, we'll figure that out. Let's hit the Dodger button early because I
Yeah.
think it's just got to be done.
Win World Series or fail for the Dodgers is easy. Don't even let Shohei pitch.
Do they have to win it in impressive fashion? We're back in 5. I don't know. What would you like to say about the Dodgers for a final time before the season?
I mean, I thought you guys did a pretty solid job on the TPP because I was going into listening to that episode thinking, what are they even going to talk about? Like, everyone's just really good. And that's kind of just the whole discussion with the Dodgers that's going to get regurgitated until something happens with them during the season, if anything happens at all. But yeah, it's win World Series or fail. We could be watching the birth of like a true dynasty. Like, I know that people call the Astros a little bit of a dynasty because they had 17 and 21, but a lot happened in between. This could be a true like 3-peat potential kind of team, and we just watched
22 Jolly. Okay.
You're right. 22.
Braves Trevor Plouffe prediction
My
happened
bad.
in 21,
My
and
bad.
it's the only thing this company has to stand on. Otherwise,
Sure.
we wouldn't be ball knowers.
You know, he got a plaque for that, and I didn't get a plaque for my Cy Young predictions, and I'm still a little bent up about it.
About me.
That's my piece.
The Dodgers are World Series or fail. I think everyone, welcome to Wake and Shake. That's what we tell you here. Who else is win the World Series or fail?
I got an easy one.
Okay.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
I think you're right. I thought it would be a little more coy, but tell them why it's not.
It's not because they're headed down a dangerous path, Jake. 2022, they make it. In my opinion, they were the better team, but they lost. 2023, they probably should have made it again. And the Diamondbacks won those 2 shocking games. And then last year, my Mets took them down the DS. So steadily, they've gone back around every single year. And the logical conclusion would be wild card round or out, or even not make the playoffs. So they need to make a statement by not only making the World Series, but by finishing the job, because as the people voted, they're the second most complete roster in baseball, apparently, according to Talking Baseball fans. They have the rotation to do it. They have the lineup to do it. We'll see about the bullpen. But this is a team that should be aiming to try and win the World Series, because that window it's getting a little tighter.
Yeah, it's interesting. There could be a BS argument made around win playoff series or fail. Like if the Phillies ran up against the Dodgers in 7 games and the Dodgers won in 6 and we're talking about a super team, Phillies fans could be like, well, we ran into the Dodgers. That's not how you feel at the time. And a lot of the conversation around this office, and it's going to pick up again come October, 5-game playoff series, 7-game playoff series, that's literally the best opportunity to get the Dodgers this year. And man, I heard a dear friend of mine, brother Jeff Passan, could text him right now if I wanted.
He had a Radiohead vinyl in the background of one of his recent
He's
things.
that guy.
I liked it.
He noted the Philadelphia Phillies player ages.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. In 22, like what you were saying before about how like you can hang your hat on losing to the Dodgers. I think they hung their hat on losing to the Astros. You know what I mean? They're like the big bad Astros. But now it's kind of time to go.
JT Realmuto just turned 34 years old. Catcher. Trey Turner. We love Trey. He's turning 32 in June for a shortstop. Parts of that can be tricky. Guys are getting on the other side of 30, and now being on the other side of 30, I appreciate what that means a little bit more. Castellanos is 33. Schwarber is 58. I don't know, bone density-wise.
How about so Bryson Stott is the youngest guy in the lineup at 27?
Stott and Bohm are the two youngs. Brandon Marsh has to be in that range too. But still, it's just the point of whether it is via free agency, whether Father Time starts to happen, those 30-year-olds, stuff is going to start happening.
Yeah.
It's Schwarber's last year of his contract. It's his last year as a Philly. Real Muto, when does, he's logged some innings on those knees. What happens there? Bryce just found a new position, and he looks amazing, so I'm not doubting that at all. And I feel like Trey's going to have at least 2 more diesel seasons. It just feels like it's been off. But this is a big year for the Philadelphia Phillies, and it is World Series or bust. Winning it. Because if they go to the World Series, which is the column below that, that means they've beaten the Dodgers.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. If you beat the Dodgers and then you don't finish the job,
then nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
And they already had that happen in a World Series. So, I think Phillies fans want to win the World Series. And I don't say I just announced it on Talking Baseball. I picked the Phillies. Obviously, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and they should be the favorites, and you should pick them. With baseball, the short series we talked about, the Phillies are going to have some sort of rotation come the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ranger will be there at the end. I don't know if it's Luzardo. I don't know. You know the names in the Phillies rotation. That Andrew Painter is supposed to come up at some point this year. They should have all sorts of horses, and as we've seen with every postseason team, the pitching herd gets thin. They shouldn't be thin there, and I don't know. Tell Tell Bryce Harper's hair, tell all their beards, tell the Philly crowd that the Dodgers are coming to town. The pretty boy, rich boy Dodgers. That crowd's going to be nasty. And maybe Philly with their last or final not last. That's dramatic. Could be their best chance to get him.
Doesn't it kind of feel that way, though?
This
is year 4 of this.
Right now, the Dodgers are sneaky getting penalized because a team hasn't won back-to-back World Series.
Right.
So they have that going against them in people's minds. And it just feels like if the Dodgers win this year, it's almost people start looking around. Yeah. People start looking around like scared for the first time.
I mean, if we're talking ages, their core 3, I mean, Freddie I know is up there, but their core 3 looks solid for a long time.
Maybe they're going to get old and be bad.
We'll see.
No, they're set up pretty well. Does anyone else win the World Series or fail?
I mean, no. Is that crazy? I don't know that are the Yankees up there? Their team is just so different.
The Yankees are interesting, and I genuinely haven't thought about it.
I don't know where to put them.
If they make the World Series and lose again,
is that a bad season? Because that means your young guys performed.
That's not a bad season.
I don't think
it's
it's a bad season
scary.
at all. It's a bad narrative, but that's different.
Davis? Yankee fans haven't even thought about this, which is
principally,
a bad sign.
It's like if you've had make the World Series or fail, accomplish it, it feels weird for that to be the goal again.
Yeah.
But they did have a lot of turnover. But the AL's weird. They're now kind of just in the thick of the AL. Like if we still had Cole, I think it is like.
I think we should circle back on them. I think they're a longer discussion.
I want to see the other teams that
there
land.
Are easier discussions in here because I do agree with everything that BBD
because
said.
they could also be on. If the Yankees make the World Series, I guess expectation wise, I currently don't really have that.
Yeah.
Like I know by the end of the year, I could feel that way. I think let's put them on make World Series or fail.
See if that feels right at the end.
Because even if a Yankees team loses in the CS, you don't call that a winning year.
Right.
Yankees teams used to win every year, Charlie.
I wasn't
You should have seen these guys.
I was 1 year old.
It's a great team. In 2009, you were 1 year old?
They won that year? Didn't Trev say that was 1999?
Yeah, he got lost. He was like, what was the lineup with like Cano, Swisher? He's like, it was that 2000, right? I was like, geez.
You played against those guys. You were in the league at the same time.
He's bad with years and percentages.
Brutal.
Ask him a percentage question and you'll be shocked at the answer.
He would hate the JM baseball drafts.
Like, ask him, yes. Like, next
he's
time
not
you
good
see
at
him, be like,
odds.
hey, what percentage of people at this game are wearing a hat? And he'll be like, oh, dude, I'm not great with percentages. Is it like 3? And you're like, dude, everyone in front of us is currently wearing a hat.
He's a giver-upper.
Like, I don't know percentages.
He's a giver-upper.
Do we jump to your Mets? Because I'd like to feel like you've got a good pulse of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think their make World Series or fail because their whole mission this year is to prove they can hang with the Dodgers.
They got around away.
Yeah, they got around away. I don't think anyone expected them to be there, including me. With them, it's weird because I do think if they make the World Series, they have a good shot at. I mean, that's just national leagueitis. You could say that for the Dodgers and Phillies too. With them, I think that they're kind of building something right now, and the young guys aren't quite here yet. And by next year, when a bunch of their top prospects are ready and they have even more money to spend, I think you can start to really talk about like they're going to be a World Series or bust every year. I don't know if it is this year. I mean, adding Juan Soto adds all that pressure, obviously. So I could be either or. I'm not fully sold on them being win World Series or fail, but if we wanted to put them up there, I wouldn't be opposed.
If I'm being honest, if you weren't in the room for this, I would have them split in the G between make World Series or fail or win playoff series or fail.
Really?
There's a little Dodger effect that I think comes into that answer. And I think it's the fact that it's what you said. Like, they have some young guys that we're going to find out. Is Mark Vientos that guy?
Right. There's a
How
lot
much
of things
does Acuna get in the mix? Blah, blah, blah. And this year is the test of their... Can they be the Brewers pitching-wise?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't make the splashy signs in the rotation that some people thought they would. That I guess for me, if the Mets won a playoffs, if the Mets won a first-round playoff series or even wild card and a DS, they face the mighty Dodgers. They lose in 6 again.
Yeah.
But you have Juan Soto. It's like, holy smokes, this pitching works. Some of our young guys, we know what they are now.
But it also hurts a lot more than last year if you make it to the same spot and lose in the same spot. That's the only thing.
Fair.
You know, like the Dodgers do change the dynamic of, I think, how they view their goals.
Right.
And I agree with it. Like, we could get an entirely different Vientos season. We don't really know what Luis Angel Acuna is. We saw 12 games, you know what I mean? Like, and he's going to be a massive piece this year. But if they get back there, I think last year it was, I don't want to say house money because that's wrong. I still expected to win that series. I had all the belief in the team. No one saw. It's okay. And when they lost, it was really disappointing. But at the end of the day, I was like, I'm just happy we got that run. Like, that was really exciting, and it's got me optimistic. Now, if we get back and we lose again, it's like, well, fuck. Like, how much more can we do? We just signed a guy for $800 million. We still couldn't beat them. So I think that's where it differs for me.
Yeah, and it's tough to feel out the course of a season because who knows who's hurt or who's healthy by the end. That these tones can change, but I guess going into the season, I'm processing a little bit.
I'm not sold on either of those two.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And
so we'll see.
That's where some people say we get the New York-itis in here, and I don't think they're wrong. I guess I want to see what other teams join them. The next team that I think needs to be talked about, and I don't think we need to chip away at the whole list.
We should clean up the bottom at some point.
But like the Atlanta Braves, I guess it's either of the top two.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm trying to think what's the true differentiator. It's just a weird thing because if the Braves make World Series or fail is really tough because if your team makes the World Series, you think they're going to win.
Right. It's a weird tier. You know what I mean?
Like, it's really hard.
There's sort of a specific amount of circumstances and criteria to be like
should we
contend with your team making it.
Should we just name it World Series aspirations and put everyone there? Or is that too broad?
That's too broad, I think, because I think Braves fans have a little more. If they get to the World Series and they were to lose, it obviously stings. Maybe fail is the wrong word there. These Braves expect to make the World Series.
Braves haven't won a playoff series since they won the World Series.
Oh, you're going like that.
There's a little wrinkle.
You're going like that.
It's been a minute. It's been a little bit.
I think it's make World Series or fail.
Okay.
If the Braves make the World Series,
I don't think they're third tier. I just don't think they're top tier.
Any team that wants that, you think you're going to win the whole thing.
Dude, the Braves window is still so big, too.
Exactly.
Everyone's like so young
if the Braves were to get back to the World Series, again, there's this weird thing in everyone's head right now that it's like, well, that means they beat the Dodgers or someone beat the Dodgers.
Yeah. That's also an important part. The Dodgers could lose before, for all we know.
5-gamer to
someone else can take care of it.
Yeah, that's for every year before last year. That's how it went.
The Brewers bugaboo. So yeah, I think Atlanta fans let us know. I think if they go back to the World Series, what you said, their core is still there. Everyone's locked up. It's kind of like, all right, we're back. Ronnie's here. Strider's here. We are still the Braves. I think it's fair. I heard they haven't won a playoff series since they won.
Acuna's 27. Riley's 28.
What's his year going to be?
Albies is 28. Michael Harris II is 24.
I mean, the Braves still have like 5 years until the Phillies conversation we just had. So I feel confident with that.
Like, it's not even necessarily like the Phillies are better than these two teams. It's the level of urgency for this season.
How about this? the Houston Astros won in 2017 and 2022.
Yeah.
They also went to the World Series a lot, went to every ALCS. 17, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
That's 5 years.
Yep.
The Braves won in 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
This is year 4. So it's getting there.
And that's being compared to the closest thing we have to a dynasty.
Yes.
That I think if they make it back to the World Series, I think that's fair.
I think so, too.
Does anyone else... Again, the National League is so naughty.
I have like a ton of teams in mind for that next tier we have.
I think, do you want to clean up a little bit of the bottom?
Clean it up,
I'd like
Jolly.
to get the fail or fails.
Clean it up.
Let's just get Rockies, Marlins, White Sox on the bottom. Let's just do that real quick.
Rockies,
Done.
White Sox.
Unfortunately, guys, this episode is not for you.
Halos?
Nobody really knows. Nah, I think it's fail
I think
or
they're
fail.
fail or
It's
fail.
They're of the fail or fails we have, they're the best.
Yes.
Currently.
I'm closest to saying I just don't know
Yeah.
as opposed to
Currently.
the others. But
Do I look at any other team and I'm just like...
what do you make of
No.
the Pirates?
No, I think
they're.
I think the
closer.
Pirates are a step above.
I
Just
think they're
going
gonna
to
be a
top
step
end
above.
talent. I think it's those 4.
We'll see if anyone ends up joining them later. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Subscribe.
Don't you dare click away.
And by the way, this is brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Winter layers are coming off slowly, people. That means it's baseball season. Spring is sprunging. We've teamed up with DraftKings to bring the excitement to all of our fans about America's most beloved game. Right now, DraftKings is offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5 when you use code BAKERS. Yup. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. DraftKings Daily Fantasy still has that going on with the shot to win real cash prizes. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code BAKERS. Bet just $5 on any wager. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Code BAKERS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Sure is.
Okay. Fail or fail feels strong. Let's do a wild card. Wild card would be awesome.
Yeah, I like this too.
Because nobody really knows. I feel like there used to be, when we originally did this in 23, there was a group of teams we were looking at like, what is this, Reggie? And now
I can tell you who
was that? Because I remember feeling very confident about that category, and I'm also wondering if the new wild card format has changed teams that even if you have one toe in the water, you feel a little better.
So that was 2 seasons ago. We had 5 teams in that tier. They were the Rockies, the Royals, the Marlins, Giants, and Pirates.
Interesting. I'm considering of elevating the Angels because they're not with those teams. They signed Kikuchi.
Okay.
They're promoting guys who have never played minor league baseball.
Certainly.
They have Mike Trout.
Just put them as nobody really knows.
Sure.
for now.
That's
Because nobody really
But then
knows.
we're gonna put
Maybe
some,
we end up finding renames, but
we're gonna put some teams that nobody really knows, and then I think you're gonna want to move back down.
Well, that's what I'm curious because, like, right now the Nationals stick out to me, but I know what they're doing, but they're like
No one knows what the
rebuilding.
ceiling is right
they
now.
like kind of have no shot at
Oh, interesting.
wild card.
Wild card would be awesome. Let's go back up above it. Who do you think? Oh,
I got a slam dunk for one.
I take it all back. I have a great nobody really knows. Stay tuned later.
Oh.
Wild card would be awesome. Who do you got?
Sacramento A's.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
But how?
But how? A brand spanking new rotation. Some nice outfielders, Jake. The promotion of Jacob Wilson. This is a really
My
fun
rookie
young
of the
team.
year.
I just think they have the upside to really surprise some people this year. And the American League kind of stinks. Like 84 wins could get you there.
The American.
AL West is in a weird spot.
Hey man, the American League doesn't stink.
Stinks a little bit.
No. The American League is good you just don't know. It doesn't have the NL elites. Like the Braves, Phillies, Dodgers easily clear the AL teams.
Sure.
And will. I guess for me, man, I love that the Athletics are a real baseball team now.
Right.
2 years ago, they were not.
No.
When guys came out of their bullpen, it was horrifying. This is a real baseball team, and I love that. Max Muncy making their team, too?
Yeah, he made the team.
So, wow. I love this team.
Maybe I'm biased, but I just really like this roster a lot.
Rangers, Marinos, Astros?
I mean, I have their expectations higher. Do you not? I don't think if those teams make the wild card, they're not completely satisfied. Like if the Mariners make the 6th wild card and then lose 2-0.
Right, but that's where I'm trying to be real with athletic expectations. There's 3 teams in division.
Sure.
The AL East, you can make an argument that every team is better.
Yeah.
Quick
you can make an
math.
argument. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's why it would be awesome.
2 teams in the Central are going to finish higher than them.
I have trouble putting them on the same tier as the Angels.
That's why I sneaky might need a new tier, because them making the wild card would be awesome. And that's the name of the column. But you can say that. I could say that for the Angels.
But
I can't promise you they finish higher than the Angels.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, we can't put the Royals or Detroit there because they already did that last year. You can't put the Mariners there because no one's satisfied if they make it to the best of 3 round and lose 2-0. Same with the Rangers. Definitely same with the Astros. So I'm trying to think of teams that are like not shoo-ins to be top 6 in their league, but have the upside to potentially get there. The Angels, I don't see that happening in any timeline of the 2025 season. There are timelines that I could see the A's running into a couple 8-game win streaks, getting quality starting pitching out of their rotation, and seeing a step up from guys like Elbut, Blade, and Brent Rooker. Like, I can see that world. I don't see that with any of the teams that are below them right now.
Let's start with Elbut.
He's my guy.
I know.
We chat. It's much taller than me.
I guess the Athletics and the Nationals I have as very similar teams. Like, there's 3 teams ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of young talent on the field. I guess I don't have them. I have them, if they finish 500.
They might be a wild-card team.
Get off the American League is fine, Jolly. There might be a 500 is good category.
Okay.
I'm open to that.
Because I think the A's and the Nats would check that for me.
And I think that I'd feel better about Angels and A's both being in that. Like we have that replacing
nobody really knows for the Angels now, because they do deserve to be on their own isolated weird tier per usual. That was a little dark. I'm sorry. I think
so. Adding a tier, or
I would add a tier below wildcard would be awesome. That is 500 would be hype.
So hype.
And I think that's the A's. I think that's the Nats. I mean, Halo fans are probably screaming right now that same, but it's just different. It's just different.
It is different.
Is it? Let's get back to the one we're excited about. Wild card would be awesome. Sorry for tanking your first pick there.
Crazy.
I think I have a lock.
For 500 is good, or the wild card?
Wild card would be awesome.
Okay. What do you got?
I think the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
If we're being honest, could be last in the AL East, fighting tooth and nail to keep Vladdy. If they make the wild card, Blue Jay fans, know you're not the biggest Yankees people, whatever. If you make the postseason with Vladdy this year, that is massive.
It's a sign of life.
That means it worked.
Yeah.
That means Santander is good. That means Jimenez contributed. That means Bichette bounced back.
It means they didn't sell at the deadline, too.
It means they didn't sell. It means they made the postseason with Vladdy in his contract year. The contract extension sounded like they were getting to a good place, and then they said they weren't happening. Toronto, it feels like there's an actual free agent who, if you have the highest dollar, they'll sign there. If they make the wild card, that is massive in keeping Vladdy, and I think changing the next 12 years of their franchise. I think that was my first team.
Yeah, that's an easy slam dunk. Just because, like, if this year goes poorly, the teardown begins, and like they go back into the dark place. which is, I don't, that would really, like, it reminds me of.
But if you do that and you keep Vladdy for 10 years, you're like, okay, maybe in 2 years we'll be sick.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, like,
you do that without Vladdy.
I know it's not the same at all. It's not the same at all. But there is some sort of Phillies transformation coming where the Bryce Harper contract is the constant, right? So, like, there might be a bad Harper year where they don't surround him with talent, but then, they'll be building towards something. The Blue Jays, if they bring back Vladdy, thanks to a good year here, can have that sort of timeline, too, where, like, yeah, this isn't going to be the same roster, even if they make the wild card this year. There's going to be changes made. Bo might be gone still because they might not have money to sign him. But you can show Vladdy that you're capable of competing with this core with a good year this year, and it kind of has to happen now. Otherwise, you're tied up in, like, these really messy contracts. Like, they give Kirk an extension, which is cool, but, like, Kirk, Santander, they're all extended for the next, like, 5 years. Barrios is going to be on the books for a while. You need success this year. You need to show Vladdy that he could be a part of this core and they can succeed in the American League.
Agree.
That's good.
Wild card would be awesome.
I got one.
Please.
Your Cincinnati Reds.
Thought about it, right?
It's time to take the step.
They were the first one I thought of when we started.
Because it would be awesome. It's been
playoff game, Hunter Green on the mound.
Jake, you want some trivia?
I am worried that this is another mid column.
Yeah, I mean, someone from
here could end up being mid, which is interesting.
Last time the Reds made the playoffs in a full season.
2014.
2013, when they won 90-72 and lost to the Pirates in the wild card
game. Give me that lineup for that game.
For that game?
Mezzarosco, Votto, Dat Dude BP.
So fast.
Barry Larkin.
Oh, leading off and playing center
Tony
field.
Perez.
Shin-Soo Choo, my guy. Ryan Ludwig. Joey Votto, Dat Dude. Jay Bruce. Todd Frazier, lest we forget. Zach Cozart. Ryan Hannigan. Johnny Cueto.
Zach Cozart mentioned someone in the comments. Yeah. You're right. It would be awesome. I guess in my head, you'd love to elevate it a little more, but they've done nothing to prove that. I
think they have division aspirations because anyone in the Central does. And, the Reds are a very talented team and could have potentially the best middle infield in baseball if we want to get real. Like, there's that ceiling for them. But it's been a while. There's been a lot of mid seasons. They could be a real candidate for mid, honestly. But I have them here for now because you can't place mid yet.
Horribly worried about that.
Yeah, I think they might.
Wild card would be awesome. I think another easy win would be the San Francisco Giants. They've made their splashes. Yeah. Buster Posey's now kind of just running the team. If the National League we just talked about, if they find a way into the wild card, that means you're already missing 3 good NL teams in the postseason. That means the Giants took someone else out. Padres, Mets, Philly, like a couple of the NL teams you start to even feels like you're whispering at church, like the Braves can't miss. The Phillies couldn't possibly. And baseball rears its head in mysterious ways sometimes. If the Giants make the postseason, Snakes, Padres, Mets, good baseball teams are out.
Giants are in a very weird spot.
I like their pitching.
They've spent big money. Kyle Harrison didn't make the team.
I know. They're my dirty little secret this year.
They're weird.
Matt Chapman had 7 WAR last year. Nobody cares.
Casual.
Where do you put
I like that tier a lot.
Where do you put the Cubs?
Cubs are, you may disagree, and that's fine. I have them in win a playoff series or fail.
I think you're right. I guess I want to talk myself into wild card would be awesome, but they traded for 1 year of Kyle Tucker.
So that's the thing. Cam Smith made their Astros roster.
Yeah.
Hayden Wesneski's in the rotation. Isak Paredes is their starting third baseman.
30 bombs.
That trade has a lot of potential to get kind of ugly if they don't.
Are you working on a script right now?
No, but
is this a script?
I have my eye on it. And the way that you can make that trade worth it, even if the exchange of value over time is way in the Astros' favor, is if you go on a run this year.
Yeah.
And win the division and, beat the Brewers for the first time in 7 years or whatever it is. So it's not enough for them to just kind of cling on to a last playoff spot and then get swept out of the wild card round. I don't think that's satisfying to any Cubs fan because they've seen the highest of heights not that long ago. So I think that this is a big year. It's a time to go kind of year for the Cubs. A lot of that hinges on Kyle Tucker having that bring it all together MVP caliber season. But if that happens and they don't win a playoff series, that's a massive disappointment.
Baseball doesn't work like this. A good way to preface this. Yet they need Kyle Tucker to be awesome.
They need him,
and I think he is awesome.
Or like MVP 5.
But yeah, I'm having this weird thing, whether it's changing divisions, playing outdoor at Wrigley for the first month, season started in Japan. It's just one of those things, like Kyle Tucker could have a very good year that's not like eye-popping. Last year when he played, he was putting up eye-popping numbers.
Yeah.
The years before that, at the end of the year, they are eye-popping when you actually compare steals and homers and all the numbers, defense. Yeah, it was just I entered. There will be more on this at another point. I entered a fantasy baseball league for the first time in a long time last night.
Weekly or daily?
Weekly.
Okay, I can't do daily.
It might be daily. I didn't really look. I was just drafting.
In a month, you're not checking that.
It's just drafting.
It's fun to draft.
Kyle Tucker is high first round.
Yeah.
And stolen bases, obviously, in fantasy are a thing. But it's kind of just funny to see, like, okay, Shohei, Judge, Soto, Witt, Kyle Tucker.
And he belongs up
It's
there.
funny that in fantasy world, he's respected that way. In real baseball, he's kind of not.
Yeah.
But the Cubs also need that. But they need so much.
But this is the
They
year.
still need a lot to go right.
The Cubs need him to be awesome. Kyle Tucker needs him to be awesome, too. This is a contract year.
I like
It's
that.
a big year for him.
Future Met, is that what you were saying?
I don't know if he could. We don't have room. We already have
Oh! Get the
That's too
fucking
much money.
Mets,
That's too
huh?
much money.
Oh, we don't have room for Kyle Tucker. Hey,
you want
Vladdy, can you play third
Don't
again?
you want him on your team? Honest Abe? You're into that.
Yeah. Joe's McFly's wanted Kyle Tucker for a long time.
Joe McFly wants every player.
He sure does.
Yeah, don't
He
act like
does.
that's Joe's scouting.
That's an old Yankee fandom.
He just sees a swing and goes, oh, future Yankee.
I feel like we need to do...
I got another one for win playoff series.
Okay.
Kind of spoiled it a little bit before, but I have the Seattle Mariners here.
Yeah.
You have the best rotation in baseball.
Yeah.
You have to get to the playoffs. Because if you get there, you'll probably win. Like it's gonna be
You'll
hard
be
for you to
picked.
lose.
Tell him that.
Yeah. Like
Don't
I
tell
pick
him
them.
that.
Like
You can compete.
they're really frustrating because I think they've been a winning team every year for the past 4 years, and they have one playoff berth to show for it.
I love baseball.
Okay.
Cubs Mariners side by side right now. That just feels like a bad omen.
Are they not in similar
Both
spots?
those franchises,
They're in time to go spots.
they currently just have a little bit of the ick to me.
Yeah, I get it.
I
Feels
want
like
them
they've
not
spent-
to. I think the fans kind of know that, but currently, I'm icked out by both front offices right now.
Yeah.
Not the fans. I like the fans. Hell, me, Jolly, will be with the Cubs fans opening day at Wrigley.
That's
Watch
wild.
out.
That's
Guard.
wild.
Hold your dick.
90 wins in 21, missed the playoffs. 90 wins in 22, made the DS. Astros swept them. 88 wins, 85 wins, miss. Not that far off from making the playoffs in either of those seasons. You're right there. So it's not enough to even just get there, in my opinion. Because, then what have you really accomplished?
I think this is going to be a big column. Win playoff series or fail.
Yeah.
I have a ton of teams in mind.
Right?
Yeah,
As I don't want to do such a power burn through them, but Boston Red Sox,
Yeah.
you can't elevate them to World Series.
Not yet. We got to
Let's
see the
it.
team play.
I can't promise you they're not third in their division. They've made a lot of the changes. I don't think they deserve, well, depending how you're making a tier list, do they deserve to be with Cubs in Seattle? Probably not. I think they've truly elevated, and they have they're young guys. Did I watch a little bit of Boston Red Sox versus Monterey the other day? I did. I'm not proud of it. It was getting late. Luis Cessa was on the bump for Monterey.
Wow, still around.
Yeah.
Chucking.
Man, seeing those Red Sox kids, I was like, oh.
Yeah, no,
They look the part.
they're about to take over.
I don't know what you need to do with your scouting, but they look the part. All of them had crazy spring trainings. All of them have crazy minor league numbers.
Justice for Chaim Bloom, man.
It could be coming.
Justice.
Yeah, right. They wanted to. They wanted to.
I know.
Yeah. Brewers. Brewers have to win a playoff series.
That's their whole narrative, right?
Yeah.
They can't win a playoff series. They make it every year. I mean, that it feels easy and lazy, but it's also just true.
As Verdadke.
Since 2018, they haven't won a playoff series?
It's kind of nuts.
I feel terrible.
It's kind of nuts. Oh, do you, Pete?
I do.
To right center?
I texted
one swing.
Blake, our former graphics guy, after that series, and I said, I love you, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
He was at the game.
You didn't even know there was a baseball game on.
Shut up.
Shut up. It's a good breakup text. Arizona Diamondbacks?
I'm having a lot of trouble with them.
I think if you're being true about the National League, this is a team I think is really good. They went to the World Series 2 years ago. They almost have no, I don't want to say they have no hope to win the division, but kind of, if we're being realistic.
They have the second most hope, which is almost no hope.
Making the postseason is still very much in question.
I have them in.
I like them, and I have them in, but again, this is the National League math. If two Central teams make it in, Padres, Mets, Phillies, I've done this dance a lot. I think it's just realistic. World Series or fail. I like my Snakes, but that's a little.
But they made it.
That's a little.
It feels like you're discrediting 23.
I'm not. I wish last year would get more credit because of your silly Mets on the last day and one big seventh inning.
Let me paint something for you and keep my Mets out of your mouth. Phillies made the World Series in 22. Step back in 23. Step back in 24. Yeah?
Sure.
Diamondbacks made the World Series in 23. Let's say that they made it in over the Mets last year.
Right.
They played the Brewers. They had beaten the Brewers the year before. Let's say they beat the Brewers again.
I like it.
They play the Phillies. They beat the Phillies the year before. Let's say they beat the Phillies again. They play the Dodgers in the CS. Right. They beat the Dodgers the year before. Let's say they beat the Dodgers again. That is an entirely realistic path of them getting back to the World Series. Do you disagree? So they were
realistic.
They were one win away from that.
Realistic's tricky, but
I think it's realistic.
I think they could have beat the Brewers.
I think they could have.
Dodgers seemed like it was on. Dodgers seemed like it was on a path last year.
Maybe. But I mean, Dodgers were down 2-1 in the DS. Like there was a real timeline where they lost there.
That's a team that's going to be interesting for this one.
I have the Diamondbacks higher, but again, if I'm outvoted, I'll rest my case.
I guess my thing that I keep falling back on, if the Diamondbacks miss the playoffs this year, are you shocked?
If they miss the playoffs?
Miss the playoffs.
I would say I'm surprised.
Shocked?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say I'm pretty surprised.
I mean, I like where you're raising the standard for them.
I mean, you said it. You know, the Arizona's becoming it's a baseball landing spot.
I guess that's for me where I'm trying to do, okay, how would I actually feel in November? I'm the Diamondbacks. We signed Corbin Burns. We locked up Perdomo. It seems like this baseball team has made a turn. If we, go to the postseason, I think if you lose instantly, that's nothing with the new wild card. If they go to the postseason, they win a DS, and it's like, hey, these Diamondbacks, they've invested in the team. They have a good young core. If they get beat by the Dodgers, the Phillies, or the Braves, I think it would be the Diamondbacks' official announcement like, hey, if we're doing the NL every year, because the way you're talking about them, you want them to be treated similarly to the Phillies or the Braves, and I don't think they deserve that yet.
Winning it,
I think the Padres could beat them in the regular season.
You just listed the last 3 pennant winners in the National League before the Dodgers.
Huh. Before the Dodgers.
The last thing I'll say about the Diamondbacks, the reason why I have them in the second tier, after this season, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez are all free agents.
Sure.
4 major players on that team.
Great.
Sure, but we don't.
We got
know yet.
money now. We got deep pockets in the desert, bro.
Feels like a big year.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal.
He's trying to get out. Don't talk Phoenix Suns.
So then where are you with the Padres?
I have them both up there.
Make World Series or fail.
Yes.
Put them up there.
National
Let's see
League
what it looks like.
is a dog-eat-dog world, man.
A lot of teams will fail.
A lot of teams will fail.
Put those D-backs up there too, B. Screw it. I'll listen to Jolly for a little bit.
The Padres thing is different because with them, it's more an ownership thing. I think things are going to get scary for San Diego pretty quick. They're not going to be the team they've been the past 3 years, and they're just going to have to deal with the contracts they've signed. But it doesn't feel like they're going to enter an offseason from now on saying, we need to get so much better. It feels like this offseason demonstrated to me that there's going to be a level of complacency with whatever happens, which is why this year feels like massive for them.
I'm interested to see. I understand that sentiment, and it very well could be right. I don't think I'd truly argue against it. I would say if the Pivetta signing happened in November, do a lot of those combos happen?
It's an interesting question.
You know, like I think they got, and while that was happening, the owner stuff is like figured out.
Yeah.
That I don't know who the new king will be. And I think there's just a layer of Padres like, yes, I don't think they can go get the big fish anymore because they did all of it.
Yeah.
They did all of it in one swoop.
Yeah.
Like Tatis, Machado, and Bogarts are massive contracts.
And the only other thing is if they lose to the Dodgers again, can you even consider that season a success regardless of what happened? Because I think the answer is no. They were inches away from doing it last year, and I think the consensus with everybody in this office is if they had won, they probably would have won the World Series.
Yeah, I guess I'm very interested to see what the people say because I think the second or third column, make the World Series or fail, win playoff series or fail. I think if the Snakes and Padre fans are being honest with themselves, I think if they won a playoff series this year, and not the wild card, so maybe we need to change that to win the DS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I think of playoffs.
I know,
honestly.
that's crazy,
Wild card
but yeah,
feels kind of fake.
I think win the division series.
Honestly, just make the wild card series 5 games.
So if you make the CS, like I think if the Padres or the Snakes made the CS this year, I think they're happy. I do.
Beeps?
You just set the bar for them.
They did it 3 years ago.
I
2
think
years ago.
Put them in a judge costume.
The answer, non-answer would be if they're in make World Series or fail, the Braves has to get a bump up.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'm comfortable with them getting this
That
year.
is interesting.
Plus, I have a few more teams that I feel like might end up in this win division series column.
I think I would
Do
shake
it.
hands on that.
Do it.
I think that's a good compromise.
God, 3 NL teams.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Okay.
And win division series or fail. Just while we're here, I think the Orioles have to be in this category.
They have to be in that category. Have to.
They have to.
You can't put them in World Series.
I have a little Orioles stock. Do you know how many games they won last year? Douchey question, if
90
I'm being honest.
91?
I'm not proud of that.
91.
It was 91.
Nice.
Proud of you. Douchey
And in their
answer.
lineup.
They had a
Their year
They
never
banged.
felt good.
Yeah, no. They never took off like they did the year before.
Like Rushman's struggling. Jackson Holiday can't hit. I have a little Orioles stock. I think them and the Braves, they had bad years.
Yeah.
And won 91, 89. Like, I think they're going to be back.
Yeah, I kind of have that with the Braves. Like, I still think they're going to win the division, all this stuff. And, like, people come at me about that sometimes. But, like, they're still – their windows are massive. They're so long.
We love
Orioles
a
are
big
so
window.
young. We love a big window. Yeah, they fit there.
Where are you at with Houston?
Where am I at with Houston? Where do you think they're at? Like, I know what they're saying to each other. Like, we're gonna win the World Series with the Houston fucking Astros. But like,
I think it's win division series or fail. For me, that means they got back to the ALCS.
Yeah.
Sans Kyle Tucker, Verlander,
Bregman.
It's like Bregman. It's another era of Houston Astros baseball gone that they say, hey, we still got to the championship round.
We're okay.
Again, I think a Houston fan would say World Series. I don't know.
It's the ALCS streak stands out to me. But it goes both ways, you know what I mean?
Scooble.
Yeah.
Watch out.
They got Scoobled last year.
I think new era. I think it's fair. I think Houston's getting more credit this year.
I think so.
And that people might be right, because what if the kid, like the trade package you mentioned from the Cubs, like you said, there's some potential there.
All three could click.
And then
I like Cubs and Astros next to each other.
That's
on the tier
nice.
list, by the way.
Friends.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're left with. This is interesting. I think I see a mid in the pack below.
Easy.
Oh.
I think I see a mid.
I think I do too, but let's
Yeah, I know, but
Texas Rangers.
it's on my radar. God, they're weird, huh? I think win a playoff series.
I could give you a very similar Diamondbacks argument.
Yeah, so I think they're in. Oh,
Ah.
Interesting.
Might be the AL's best team.
Might be the AL's best team. Not that the AL's bad this year.
Nasty. I'd have trouble putting them up there and not the Astros. They would have to both go, I think.
Well, that was my whole, I think if they win a division series, that means they went to the CS again.
Yeah.
The Texas Rangers that for a while there built a stadium. It opened during COVID. Times were bad. It's like, hey, these Texas Rangers are good at baseball.
Yeah.
They won the World Series, so even with last year in there, like pressure a tick off.
I think it's
I like
like
that.
It's like the level of competition too. I know I keep doing American League stuff, but like, and
That's
like National League is
crazy.
such a dogfight, dude.
Level of competition.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I said it.
It's a weight class. Let's put them win division series or fail for now.
Yeah, there will be some.
They can change of that row. Well, you'd say this for a few of these teams. They can get to make World Series.
Yeah,
Like
can,
if they
a month
click
in
this
we
year
can,
and they're good, it's
if
like,
they have a
oh
scary
shoot.
April and they're back.
But I could say that for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I could say that for the Orioles. So I think
same
that's,
tier list at the deadline. They might be at the very top.
they could shuffle up.
Dude, I have kind of
Could
a
be the
crazy
biggest
one.
riser.
Let me make sure
What
I
do you
got my
got?
facts straight.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Always
is
looking up
this-
facts. I get nervous.
I mean, where else are the Cleveland Guardians supposed to go?
Go on.
What is left for them to accomplish? How many times have they made? So they made the playoffs in 3 of the last 5 seasons.
Say it.
Like, is Chris Rose happy if they win the DS again? Like, is he satisfied?
They're so weird.
They're so weird. I don't know what to do. I expect them fully to be there, but I don't expect them to make the World
They
Series
have
at all.
no expectation to win the World Series.
I think it's just an ownership thing, right? Like, they can't fully buy in, so you can't, as a fan, fully buy into them. They're like the least happy with winning a division.
How about
series.
this?
You know what I mean?
I think if they win a division series, you're right. The fans, their thirst isn't quenched.
Like, they're happy.
They have no expectations to make the World Series.
Right.
I mean, in that division, they could also finish 4th this year. People don't believe in that because
That's
their ownership
true,
has
though.
been good.
Yeah.
If they win a division series this year, they go to the ALCS again. The fan base then has room to like riot.
Yeah.
Hey, if we can do this with these parts,
Back-to-back years.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
What's
so
the goal here?
It's not here yet, but it's coming. I think they're in win division series or fail. But by this
But
time
they-
next
they
year,
do
They
not have
won't
World
be.
Series expectations.
they don't. But I think if they make another CS, then you have to start
They-
having.
They oddly have more of a pedigree than a lot of teams on that
and
line
you
recently.
don't view them in a similar light to a lot of these
That's
teams.
nuts.
It's
That's
Rose
nuts.
It's Rose getting crowded.
Everyone's been waiting for my nobody really knows that I advertised
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Cardinals?
Yes.
yes, okay. That's the one I was thinking.
And that says a lot for Cardinals baseball that they're on the same line as the Halos.
They should.
Because that's a little
In my heyday, they're third-tier minimum.
That's a little gross.
What happened?
It happened quick. Feels like it could be like a Jolly Olive video.
All right. Too much advertising. Thank you, though.
Win division series or fail. Kansas City Royals. I think you had them as your mid? No. Jolly.
Think about it.
We'll never be Royals. They went dancing last year. They got a young core.
I don't know if that lineup can do it.
That's crazy. They just got Jonathan India. Vinny's healthy. What happened to you and your friends? I know Lawrence Butler.
Are we doing this or are we not doing this?
You touched him.
I think...
They went to the dance last year.
May I explain?
I guess.
So
Vinny does have a hammy.
This kind of spoils what I have going for the rest of it, but we can do it.
Spoil it. We're here.
So I had Twins, Rays, and Tigers in wild card would be awesome. Because I think that's... And we can expand on that later. But in my head, I was like, I have the Royals above all of those teams because of what they accomplished last year, their rotation, that pedigree, all that stuff. But obviously they want to win a playoff series. But I think with the state of where Kansas City baseball has been since they won the World Series 10 years ago, things got really bad. That was like there was a 4 100-loss seasons in between them winning the World Series and making the playoffs again. And I think if they get there, which, by the way, I don't know if they do, if I'm being completely honest. If they get there, I just view all the teams that are in that third tier as much better teams. I know they beat the Orioles. It was a wild card series, so I always kind of with that. And I just think they kind of fit perfectly as our mid team. Maybe that's disrespectful. It's also... You're the 15th best team. Is that crazy of a statement?
You have the Guardians better than the Royals.
I do.
For sure.
For sure.
Interesting. The Guardians' playoff resume would kind of gives them a leg up there. There's a lot of different ways we could skin this cat at this point because the remaining teams... I could put them all in mid, and I could walk away and have a happy day. I really could.
That's too high for the Pirates, I think.
I really could. Yeah, Pirates, I guess I was wondering what would happen with Pirates. Wild card would be awesome. They're the same as the Reds.
I thought that, but they haven't.
I think they're 500.
They haven't sniffed 500 yet.
They haven't even come close.
They haven't been knocking on the door yet.
Would 500 be hype?
Yeah.
Or would it make everyone really sad?
I think it would make people angry. Because it's like, here's what we
did
with this
position.
bare bones roster. Imagine what we could do if you guys spent a little bit.
I don't think they're hype.
I think getting to 500, they would tell themselves that that's like the wake up call to start actually doing it.
Let's play a game.
Arms are out.
Let's play a game.
Whoa!
Let's play a game. Give me 3 locks for the National League in the playoffs. 3 locks.
I'd say Dodgers, Phillies, Braves.
There goes 3 spots. So that means that 2 of the Mets, Padres, Diamondbacks, Brewers, Cubs, Giants, and Reds all have to not make the playoffs for the Pirates to get a spot. Or 5 of the 7, not 2 of the 7. Because 2 would be in. So can you say definitively that 5 of those 7 teams are for sure not going to make it and the Pirates would?
So the Reds have set a separate bar than the Pirates.
I think so.
I think so. I guess the word hype is the only thing throwing me off. Because, I mean, I don't have the Pirates winning 500 games. 500 games.
Sick. That would
Imagine.
be hype. That would be hype.
500 would be hype.
I guess it's fair. I mean, talent-wise and row-wise and tier-wise, I have the Pirates. I have the Pirates with the A's and the Nats. And BBD, if you could put the Nats in front of the A's, so it's either Wasp or WAP, the popular
bleep that. Jeez.
Meg the Stallion song. Is that Meg? Yeah.
That's Meg.
Nicki's featured.
What does it mean?
Make it drop. That's some wet.
Ben Shapiro?
Macaroni in a pot.
Oh.
Wow.
That's what good sounds like.
Okay.
Now what?
And that's a free comment.
Use your AL Central.
So when we said mid, you jumped to
Royals is my vote.
Royals. I jumped to Rays.
Oh.
But there's a Rays hype train that
Rays could
apparently
make the wild card.
there's a Rays hype train. I apparently missed. Passon's a Rays guy. You love the Rays. Trev's half in on the Rays. I guess its wild card would be awesome.
They're just another team that got hurt last year.
Yes. Their lineup, man.
They made the playoffs 5 straight years.
I've become a lineup guy. Their lineup gets.
I mean, that's what I was just doing with the...
Their lineup gets.
Pull up the Rays and Royals lineups and put them
What's
next
the
to each
one
other.
significant difference between the two?
Bobby Witt. But what is Junior Caminero?
What is Junior Caminero?
Let's find out.
Right. But if Junior Caminero could have a 3-WAR year and that could be a win.
I think if you play this guy versus this guy by position with the Rays and Royals, I think I know what team comes out on top.
You think the Rays? Okay, let's dance. Who's our catcher?
Danny Jansen versus Freddie Fermin?
Or Salvi?
Is Salvi catching?
I mean, I'll take either of them against Danny Jansen if I'm being 100.
Okay.
If I'm being 100.
Games against the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Then
it's
Danny's
Danny
got
Jansen. All right, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Hour in, YouTube.
Yeah.
Here's Royals Rays lineup head to head. Catcher, give me Fermin.
Okay. Yandy versus Vinny. I have Yandy.
I would put up an equal sign. I don't know if we're doing that for
You
this
can do that.
exercise.
Sure. I don't hate that.
Yandy's getting a little old. I like Vinny's potential a little
Josh
more.
Lowe versus Hunter Renfroe. That one's easy.
I'll take Josh Lowe. Where'd you just jump to? Are you doing lineup?
I'm going down the Rays lineup. Or do you want to do my position?
Position by position,
I wasn't
pal.
prepared
What's
for this.
going on?
Okay, second base. Brandon Lau versus Michael Massey.
I'll take Lau, like Massey.
I like Massey
But
too.
I think
Pretty
close
first step.
could be closer than the experts think.
Junior Caminero versus Michael Garcia.
I will take Junior Caminero.
Taylor Walls versus Bobby Witt.
I lean Bobby.
Shock.
Even when they get Ha-Sung Kim back, I'll take Bobby.
Biggest
Okay.
gap on here.
Jonathan Aranda versus Jonathan India. I'd take India.
I take India.
People like Aranda. We'll see. Christopher Morel versus MJ Melendez. I'd take Morel.
I lean Morel, but that's sneaky ugly. I'm a Morel guy.
Johnny
guy.
DeLuca versus Kyle Isbell. I'd take Johnny DeLuca. I guess it doesn't
Equal
really-
sign. Equal sign.
So it's pretty even.
Where was Salvi on that list?
Catcher, I guess.
Well,
And
that's
you
where
took-
Freddie Fermin was.
Well, but you took Freddie Fermin.
Can I get another DH?
Well, your DH was Jonathan India.
Okay, can I put DH in left field and take out Christopher Morel?
Now I'm getting lost in the
See,
sauce.
that's just an interesting.
The
Maybe
two that
they're
are
both- are they
decidedly Royals advantage are decidedly Royals advantage.
Let's put the
But-
Rays and the Royals in mid.
I'm okay with that.
What do you think of the Twins?
I don't know.
They're
Wild
definitely
card?
not 500 hype. They've been 500 of the last 2 years.
Wild card?
I think wild card would be awesome.
The Twins want to make the postseason.
Yeah.
I'm listening if you want to throw them in the mid dance.
I mean, dude, I kind of want to throw all the Central in the mid, and that's kind of ironic.
The
'cause
Central
they are
and the
in-
Rays.
They are.
I'm not.
Middle
I'm
America.
honestly not opposed to that. You said that a little bit ago.
The Guardians deserve more respect. They just
They do.
They just do. They're good, and Jose Ramirez is good. Detroit Tigers,
I'm okay with that idea.
are they mid?
I had the Tigers. I think they'd be really happy to make the playoffs again. But I guess, yeah, they should.
made it.
They already did that.
They
and
made
won
it and
playoff
got
series
through.
and almost won the DS. So yeah, I think they're above that too.
Which is a little weird, but a little true.
I think they're mid.
No,
I don't know
they're
if
mid.
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
up there. They didn't do enough.
Because these are expectations.
And then I would put the Twins up there too because they're still very talented.
They kind of are talented.
They're
They're just
incredibly talented. They just can't stay healthy.
every good player is injury prone.
Yeah.
Twins, Giants, Twins, Reds, Twins, Blue Jays. The Central is throwing off the entire sport.
Got Cardinals and Angels on the same tier.
I hope it's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. If you had to move one team, if I said, Jolly, you get one presidential pardon, up, down, any direction, what would you pick? I'm not saying you do, but I'm just curious.
If I just had to?
I would never give you that power.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I would probably bump the Astros up.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the standard they're trying to set for themselves. They might not have the personnel to do it, but if I'm just looking at the logo I'm looking at, it's the Houston Astros, and their goal is always to make the World Series. It's always to be the best team in the American League. And for the first time in a while, that convincingly didn't happen last year.
Yeah, I guess wild card loss and a couple names that made that logo feel different. That's a tough one for me.
Sure. But that's the one I would move. It'd be nice to have another American League team up, too. That's 6-1 right now on the top two tiers.
Jesus. What happened? And the Yankees are only going there just because they went to the dance last year.
Right. I mean, if they didn't.
And some expectations.
Yeah.
But, I'll tell you what. That win division series or fail is pretty AL, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost inclined to bump Texas up.
Maybe. But that's
if you do, it's Texas and Houston.
Is that definitively saying the Rangers are better than Houston? I think that's what that says. You know what I mean?
Put Texas and Houston up. Let's just see how it feels.
I'm gonna do it real slow so you can see if the gap feels okay.
Oh, and all the tiers are even now, which makes me feel nice and good. I like that.
Oh, that is nice and good, dude.
Kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's interesting for me because Boston and Baltimore, I kind of feel better about their teams than Texas and Houston, but Baltimore has had zero playoff success.
It's the pedigree, yeah.
And Boston, I mean, this is it should be the start of something really good, but sometimes it takes a second to start something.
And making the playoffs would be a big jump for them.
Yeah.
That's a 10-win jump. Didn't check the math.
I believe it.
I'm okay with this.
I think I am too. So I did get my presidential pardon.
You got half of it. Judge BBD made it a package deal.
I think of it as double.
That's well, and Jolly, what you missed, little sheep's wool on you. I just elevated 2 AL teams. The AL's nasty,
That was my idea.
The AL's nasty.
That's my idea.
The AL's really good this year. I think that's it.
Is that it? Yeah.
The Central's throwing me off, where the Twins probably have more talent, but Kansas City and Detroit made the postseason last year.
That Rays Royals beef was funny. I've never been that passionate about something that I'm not going to think about in 30 minutes.
Yeah. The Rays are just so mid to me.
The only other one...
It just feels like the phrasing is weird. With wild card would be awesome and mid. But yeah. I guess wild card would be awesome is like you're not mid, it's just
you're not expected.
What about
you're not expected to do it.
What about shrug emoticon? That's always my favorite.
That's BBD has a shortcut to that and people really
so
like it. I don't
You want that replacing?
That's got to be special occasions.
Sure.
That's mom making the lasagna every Thursday instead of the holidays, and then it loses its allure.
That's true. We used to have pasta 2 times a week.
On the top tier, win the World Series or fail. Dodgers, Phillies, Braves. Make World Series or fail. Yankees, Mets, San Diego, Arizona, Texas, and Houston. So we are coastal elitists in our souls. Win division series or fail. The Orioles, the Brewers, the Red Sox, the Cubs, Mariners. I'd love all the talent on those teams.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland is there.
Like you can see it with any of those teams.
Love it. Rays, Royals, Detroit, and Twins are mid.
Sorry, AL Central.
I think my one, if I had one presidential pardon on my own program, Kansas City, I think, should be up, but we just did a whole argument over them.
It's Wake and Jake. It's not Wake and Jolly. So if your face is on the thumbno, if you want to do it, you can do it.
That.
I feel better about it now. I'll say that because we moved 2 teams up.
No,
I have a trade I'd consider that would keep it even.
There's been a trade.
I just feel weird about the Cubs because they haven't gone to the Plastics group. I know the Kyle Tucker trade and being a rental has us in a bit of
talent-wise, they're really good.
I have them grouped with the Mariners as like a level of urgency for this year. That was the only thing. I do agree.
I suppose Red Sox being there does give Cubs more credibility.
I think good.
Yeah.
I think this is the landing spot. Mid, Rays, Royals, Tigers, Twins. Wild card would be awesome. Toronto, Cincy, the San Francisco Giants.
Tier.
Yeah, that one.
That's a perfect
That
tier.
one clicked. So did this one. 500 would be hype. Nats, Athletics, and Pirates. Hype for the Pirates still freaks me out a little bit. Nobody really knows the Halos and the Cardinals. I don't even know if the Cardinals want to be 500 this year. Halos, I don't even know if that's a pipe dream. Fail or fail, the Rockies, the White Sox, and Marlins. Ladies and germs, tier list season. Tier list preseason is in the books. I'm sure we'll get a couple in this season. Baseball is here tomorrow. We're streaming on the JM Baseball channel.
Nice.
Me and Jolly will be in Chicago in a week. If you're there, come say what up. DraftKings Sportsbook. Chris Rose has a new show. What's that about? Dugout. Have you guys seen Michelle Rose?
Questions with the Queen.
Yeah. Have you seen the segment?
Answers.
It's electric.
Answers with the Queen. All right.
Easy.
She's a delightful woman. Chris Rose is nice, but I just don't know how. Anyways, baseball season's here. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe. We will see you back Monday. Ball talk.